Apple just jacked up prices in an unprecedented move, and yeah, it's because of AI. Specifically, it's because of the Ramageddon or RAM apocalypse, this memory chip shortage that we're experiencing. But what caused the memory chip shortage? Well, it's AI. Because AI needs so many memory chips. Now, memory chips aren't the same thing as like the storage on your iPhone. That's not the bottleneck. Memory chips are the short-term storage. So like think about it like this. You have a desk. The processing power is you and your brain. Like you need all these things on your desk to write a paper. You need books, you need paper, you need pens, and then you have a library and a closet. The library and the closet is the storage. The memory chip is the short-term processing power, the desk. So like that's all of your open tabs, all of your open apps. The memory chip is holding that for the short term, and then it hands it over to the processing power. Now that processing power is advancing rapidly. That's advancing super fast. That's the AI exponential growth. But it needs many, many desks to do all of these different tasks. So as AI models get bigger, they need more memory chips. These data centers need so many memory chips, and they're strangleholding like the memory chip industry because there's only like 3 companies that make these memory chips. Now also think more and more people are using AI. So the demand is growing exponential in like 2 ways. So it's like twice as exponential as we need more and more memory chips because there's more and more people asking bigger and bigger models to do more and more things. And phones need memory chips. A Nintendo Switch needs a memory chip. An Xbox needs memory chips. All of these things need memory chips. Apple has historically been the king of the supply chain. Tim Cook, the CEO, who's like about to leave and retire, was like known as the supply chain maestro. And he doesn't get enough credit for that, to be honest. He gets a lot of criticism for not advancing the technology as much as like under Steve Jobs, but Steve Jobs is really like an incredible marketer and like made Apple this like luxury product that everybody wants. But anyway, Tim Cook was a supply chain maestro because he would foresee what was needed and get Apple like there first. Like the supply chain is all of the little inputs from around the world that you need to put together to make a product that's excellent and also financially affordable. Tim Cook did that excellently for the iPhone. But now they've run into this bottleneck because Tim Cook's strategy was, I'm going to get to the supplier first, I'm going to buy it first, I'm going to pay up front, and Apple's going to get the best, and they're going to get it first before everybody else. So we're going to lock it up. But the AI companies locked it up. And there's only 3 companies that like manufacture these memory chips. And the demand is growing so fast that the manufacturing literally can't keep up. So it's like a stranglehold. There's no end in sight. It'll be like several years before the rest of the manufacturing capacity, like because you literally have to build all these factories in America in 2022, pass this CHIPS Act to fund that. But it'll literally take time to build giant manufacturing facilities to manufacture these chips. And so until then, the price of all your technology is going to keep going up because most of these companies, Apple included, have like been eating the rising costs. Like the costs have exploded for these memory chips. The stocks of these 3 companies that make them have exploded because they're the only ones that make it. Well, not the only ones because they manufacture them in China, and Apple's lobbying the government to get access to those chips, but you need like special licenses and approvals because it's a national security issue and they're on certain lists. So like these memory chip companies, they get put on and off the list all the time. But in China, they have ties to the military apparatus, so the money can go to the military industrial complex there, and the government doesn't want that. But the bigger issue is not like concern about like, say, malware, and not even concern about like the Chinese government getting money from it. It's like the logistics of a supply chain. So like if you are in a conflict with another country, you don't want to be dependent on vital technology or vital inputs for technology in case like they stop giving it to you. So if like you're dependent on that memory chip, like totally dependent on another country, and there's a conflict, they have so much leverage over you because they control that memory chip. So it's like a national security issue for different countries to be able to manufacture these things. Same thing with like steel, rare earth minerals you might have heard of. Those are big inputs into technology too. You want to be able to manufacture those independently so that the leverage isn't on someone else. But these memory chips are the bottleneck, and supply chain issues have happened in the past. Like there was a supply chain issue in 2004 with certain chips because like mobile phones were becoming so popular. There was a supply chain issue in 2020 to 2023 because so many factories got shut down because of COVID, but that's different. That was like an event that would eventually pass, and the supply chain can catch up to that faster. This is a structural issue because there are literally not enough factories making the chips. There are not enough people making the chips, so there are not enough chips. Not enough desks to supply and feed the AI monsters that like eat up processing power. And that's a big problem. It's going to make all technology more expensive. It's going to result in all kinds of like maneuvering for this global supply chain dominance. And it's going to make companies like Micron and Sony that manufacture these chips super rich.